All right. welcome. Today is Monday, May 19th. It's a beautiful day in Florida out here on the South Florida. We got the summer coming. Like I said, it's a good shift, when spring going to summer. We got a lot going on, a lot to speak on, a lot to talk about. I just want to say thank you for everybody tuning in, listening. I know it's not a big following or whatnot. We still getting the kinks worked out far as spreading it out to the masses. Hopefully it ain't no hate on why people not tuning in or listening. But we know we're gonna do our best to promote and to put the real information out there to the world and to galvanize in the proper and positive way. I know the first few shows have been like a little like might seem a little strong to others, but this is stuff that's been going on for decades, years, thousands of years. Like I said, the disrespect is going to stop if it has not already stopped. We're working on every day of changing the trajectory of the negative and the naysayers that are not on the right side of history. So today's title of this show is limited position. Basically, I want to describe that when I say limited position. Limited meaning not that many chances, or you know, and I say position meaning what is your title? What are you here for? What is your why or whatnot? That's what I mean by positioning. And just when I say limited position, it could mean opposite. It could mean the right what it say. Limited position, you limited, or you can be unlimited. It doesn't matter. So it all depends on how you go about when I be speaking these things. I don't try to put people down, but people need to be put in their place as well. There's nobody above what's correct. So, and there's nobody, like I always talk about, what you made of. Every day I go to sleep is always somebody crying that they not getting treated, properly, or I shouldn't be in a position. It's every day somebody feel that way about me. And I could tell you one thing: I did not cut corners to be able to speak. I did not cut corners or when I chose my career path as a coach. I did not cut corners when I chose the people or family that I was born into. So I got to make that statement almost every day. Like, you can't get mad at, and I'm telling you straight up, like, my family, both sides, it's not like, if you consider gullible or naive, or and we all have been subjugated to American ways, but we all had to figure out our own way to get around this American way. So and it's still youth, it's still a lot of youth in our family. So I say these things. I want protection over their life. I want them to be. I don't want nobody that's not supposed to be in our circles to not infiltrate in an incorrect way, improper way. They have to learn how to get it. It's time for a shift. It's not a lot of men on both sides of my family. It's men, but it's not enough. So we have to go out and we have to make what we got, make do what we got, and we try to build on the people that, as far as the men, we try to link ourselves to strong men so we are able to ask them for help and they can ask us for help. And that's how it goes when you come from a tribe that we basically are. I call it tribe family. It's mostly women. So I look at it like that. So that's just a quick little breakdown. I just be thankful, being appreciative of these things, or why things have to be how they are. Now, this week, I always start off with the serious topics. We're gonna get the sports, we're gonna get the entertainment. It's gonna be some, fun takes on that. But politically, it's been, it's a big whirlwind. Like I say, I get stuff sent to me. Like, I got friends that don't really be around me that are handling other things and other obligations in the world that I don't even know about. But I also know how important the infrastructure of family is as well. So, it's like, I wish it could be more communication. I know how I lack with the phone calls and the texting and all that, but I also know I got to protect mine. And for what I could say, they pretty much are protected. They pretty much have especially my sister's children and my daughter. they have a very, they could call me anytime. I'm always available to them at this point of their lives. So, and I put it so much into them as far as words, as far as just teaching them, whether it's sports, whether it's knowledge, whether it's, because they could be doing work and I could just put some extra work into them just by stuff I already know. So it's always happened like that. They could be doing their grading work, whatever level they at the time, and I always make sure they're on point with the advance and they're on point for the next stage. It's always been that way. That's how we teach our kids and our family. So that's all it is. Now this is I'm gonna play a clip. There was stuff going on last night. They do this stuff all the time. They'll throw a straw man story out about the Africans getting treated bad in South Africa, and no one cares about you getting treated. You're full blown Americans. You have an American accent. You're not African at all. There's no such thing as white Africanos or whatever they calling it. There's no such thing. You're either African descent or MP. And most people understand that that's where the original, when they was toting, when the dinosaurs was here and all that high grade energy and highlight sunlight and all that melanin was burst into air and created life from billions of years of time over time. Whatever y'all read in y'all science books and y'all history books, it all works hand in hand. We are basically down to a very, once the people like me that are speaking, or you never know what's out there in the life of these on these plans and these and where they teach us, on these Star Wars and whatnot, whatever it might be true, it might not be true, different type of beings out there. It might have been the beings that was here when the dinosaurs were roaming. You never know what it really is that they're trying to tell us. They do so much backhanded information in America that it's actually we behind in advance at the time. They give us these phones and computers and tell us to go out there and tap dance, but they don't really give us the real base of the history and the foundation of it. And like I said, the American put blindfolders as soon as you come out. They want to give you a shot, take your blood, and they want to sign you over to whoever call themselves in superior order or whatever they calling it now. I'm not a part of that. I'm telling you, and if I was, I'll be at the tippy top of it, the defensive side of the tippy top of it. And I don't really care if people know that now. Nobody's out here trying to hunt or find or be destructive, but I know I'm protected. So that's just what it is. And we still get attacked. We're not bullet. Spiritually we get attacked all the time. So it's not like it ain't going on like that. And I look at it like this. If I was offensive, it would be more of a big deal. So these people are actually lucky that I'm not offensive and I'm just speaking out loud about, the blatant treason spiritually that goes on in America. That's really what it is. It's very blatant. They got people spaced out in different continents in the world doing complete high level treason against some of the strongest people that could be helping, whether harm. And if we fight back, it'll be even bigger. So like I don't like to repeat. So let's move on. I'm gonna play you a clip on a news channel that broke the news about the bill. We got a bill passed through via the House passed the bill last night. They do this all the time, especially when the white supremacist groups that basically is what is that's mostly the Republican Party at this point. They want things to be in a dictatorship form and a do what I say form instead of going through the right process and step. They passed it through. They got the executive order. They got the House passed it through. They got to go through the real law firms that are on the side of the judges, and this is where they come in. This is where they not understanding. The most intelligent people are in the judge when it comes to lawyers and judges in the law firms. These people are work hand in hand, and y'all do what they tell y'all to do. So the president and those stupid people that he got in, cheering him on, that's in the House. Like I told y'all who he got, over some of these things. These people they literally are just picked because they're friends of his. They're his golf buddies and stuff. They're not picked because of their intelligence. They're not picked because of their background in politics. I'm letting you know I had one of my teacher that taught me when I was in 10th grade. When I went to a school called Buckeye. I didn't graduate there, but I went there. This lady was one of the smartest people when it came. She was very grounded when it comes to being down to earth and very well spoken. So I could say that about her. I don't know. She had a very she reminded like how I speak. I got a lot of like I felt very comfortable speaking about politics to her. And she, like I said, when it came to we did so much practicing on making rules and passing laws, and it was very, I mean, like every day, people would come in that wasn't even in that class period, and we'll do like a lot of back and forth to competing against other classes, and we didn't even know how she did it. It was like she basically showed us how the politics work. Like they try to put stuff, she'll do y'all do this, and then she won't tell the other class they'll be working on something completely different. And then we'll kind of like cross hairs like in like outside of the class, just like situations. And I caught on very early, but I enjoyed that type of energy. I enjoyed that type of, training. And that's a quick little rundown where I got and my mom was very high level when I was younger with just talking politics with me and just breaking stuff down. Like I tell you about the straw man, she learned. That's when the process of they call it I'm gonna let you listen to one that was like palladium, and I was like, what is palladium? I heard it up before, but it was basically like the weight of the scales, and you need all these people to be on board to even get this stuff passed. So the judge when it comes to judges and when it comes to federal, like these people are basically it's like say like this, it's like 3.5 people that gotta pass all the way, and they ain't the 1.5 ain't going for it. So he not gonna get this, and hopefully he don't get this through legislation. I haven't really seen the whole bill, but I know other than these Medicaid, they talk about the Medicaid. The straw man story is the Medicaid and all this and the SNAP. That's the straw man story. Now, I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown on like SNAP and food stamps. Food stamp was designed for inner city and urban areas to take out the men in the household. This was designed for you to ask money for the government for food, and this is how they control your mind is through food and whatnot. So when they providing that little bit of stipend every month, the only way you can have a substantial amount of food stamps if you have 3 or more kids, and you get like $600-700. Now, if you have 2, you get 4 or 5, and you stretching it because it's $200 to feed a child. If you have like 3 meals a day, it's 300. It's $200 per week. So 200, 400, 600, 800, and including the mom. So it's 3 people getting 500 something dollars, and you gotta hustle up 250 for food. You gotta pay lights and rent if you not don't have your home but paid for and stuff. You still got taxes, and depending on the state. Unfortunately, and luckily I stay in the state where the taxes are not excruciating, but other states have very high level, crazy number of tax pay. But they said they're cutting they're doing a tax break, and this all stems from people complaining about the medication bills, and these tax breaks are only for the wealthy. They're mad because they're tens of billions of dollars that they hid and stolen and off the backs of African descended people that they enslaved. This all stems from when they purchased us off. I'm saying us meaning African descent. When they purchased, I have more native roots than people think. So I might have not even been. I'm half and half slave, half and free, and I'm mostly on the free side because I know the way I think. I definitely don't feel like I've been enslaved. I just know I've been spiritually attacked, and that's just because I had the social, and people put my dad and my grandfathers through the ringer when they were servicemen. They all helped the community, all served and communicated with these people, paid their taxes, let their children go to public school. They didn't, we never acted in a certain manner we could have, and I ain't really the one to go for it. I just had to mature. I just have to get more intel, which is what I'm doing now. So they gonna see me in a different light if they'll stop me from, they don't try to stop me from coaching and everything. So the way they done tried to slander my name is completely outrageous. And this is all in different states. These people feel entitled, and they not who they really say they are. You know what I'm saying? I like the people that are evil when they tell themselves this is the people that have attacked me. So they blatantly disrespect and disregard for their blatant disrespect for authority is very like put out and open. So I don't really care for them people. I didn't mind working with these people. I know what it is and what it ain't kind of. So it comes with what it comes with. Now we're gonna play a few clips and I'm gonna kind of move on from it and talk about I made a phone call today. Broward County finally got somebody on the phone when it comes down to their out there in Pompano, somebody, the secretary for the mayor of Pompano actually answered the phone. I'm gonna be at the commission. They got a commissioner board meeting next on the 27th, next Tuesday, I think, and or Monday, one of the Tuesday, Monday, one of them days. Yeah, Tuesday. I'll be there at 6. It starts at 6. I'm gonna actually speak. So I really try, like, I had to get on point with the mother of my child about my what decision we gotta make. It's a lot of schools that want my daughter at their school. She's still in public school, so I want her to pick the correct school for her to grow as her, to sharpen her talent, sharpen her education and her plight going into, a different realm, because when you get to middle school, it's maturity, it's, a whole different realm. You got so many different classes and all that. You got to move around there all day. So, I got to make sure I'm putting her in the right position so she don't, they don't corrupt her mind in the incorrect way or, teach her the wrong things that she didn't want to be taught. So, we're gonna go more into detail about that. Like I said, I'm a proud parent of all the nieces and nephews, all my, my daughter and all that. And, I'm hyped about these things. So we're gonna keep it going. This is the clip. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. That's one of the clips. I'm gonna let you listen to this one. All right. So basically, what I was trying to say, everywhere across the globe, across the United States, not globe, sorry, but you know how I was, I look at it like this. It's so scattered. It's so much going on. How you do something late night like this, and people are already going against you because they already talking impeachment for this bill, anyways. And he's like, it's called the Big Beautiful Bill. What is that? What is that? What does that mean? What, like, you ain't got no create, like, it's no creativity behind, no thoughtfulness into it. It's just like Big Beautiful Bill. I'm finna get so much money, I don't care what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's all it is. That's all he's seen with dollar signs. You feel me? So I'm not really mad at him taking advantage of his own position in the world. But it's like, what are you gonna do when you leave office? You can't be in office no more. Who's gonna be next behind you is gonna have so much backlash. Then they toting around Elon Musk. I'm not dissing Elon Musk, the technology, Twitter, the way everybody allowed to speak their open minds. They already feel entitled because they stole so much money. They have cornered the market. They have filled us up with TikTok and these some of these people are not bad people. These streaming people who basically are African and black and brown people, got us tip dancing for a couple dollars that they actually feeding off that energy, but it's not the most. It's like they gotta work that hard just to get it. Now, I like the streamer university that somebody just did. Kasana, I don't want to miss your name up. I shout that out because he did a great job of bringing a lot of people in with him on the pot that he's probably finna get just off him being over. Then he had the professor side. Then he drafted all those people with scholarships. I thought that was one of the latest things I've seen in a long time. That's very creative. That's something I'll be like. That's something I'm on. That's like a every year, every 6 month thing where season, and like when it comes to sports. So it's like I understand that changing of the guard, it happens yearly, and the fact that he put so many people on that first one, and all those people that got the respect that Kostanek, I don't want to say your name, hopefully I'm saying that last name wrong, that he's getting. He put so many of those people on, respect that they basically put them at the, he's the dean, of course, because he got all he get his bag a different way when it comes to sponsorship, and you know how they pick one person out and then wanting to leave everybody behind. I like how as soon as he got his bag and his sponsorships, he put all those people back on with him, with this school that they finna do, with the camp, the boot camp, whatever they finna call it. How they gonna do it. It's gonna be nice. I like that, but I don't like these people who already have billions of dollars who think that it should be more him. RCDC World, I love how they do theirs. I know it's more people. Those that's somebody I enjoy watching their creativity and laughing. And I don't want to. I hope more people still support them. I hope they actually have some kind of say in that I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not big on watching whole TikToks and streaming. I'm old school. I got zero followers, and whatever it is, I hopefully my message get out to them guys that they start spitting some of that stuff that I'm saying and they take some of this stuff that I'm saying about I know they're in the stage of still earning money, so they're not looking at it. But then when they get children and they gotta sit home for 5 to 6 hours, it's because they probably still gonna be hustling and doing their thing and making their money. They the new age way, but they still gotta raise their children. And as a father, I don't care what you provide if you're not there protecting them physically. That means you're subjugated to somebody else infiltrating your real structure as a man. And that's what I have I don't put my personal business out there. I try to mention my child because this is the realm that I have to do it from. Now, when it comes to her being around me, we always outside, we always doing something constructive, and that's what a father has to be. You got to make sure you're teaching them, just basics of just, I won't say survival, but just like make sure you can do things yourself. Like I taught my daughter how to cook. I taught her basic cleaning things, and being mindful and neatness. Like, I make sure that I let her know as a woman, you have to have those things. Those are very important things that you develop. So, her knowing how to cook and, her favorite foods and stuff like that was very important that I got to do that with her. And that's just like how I am. And same with my niece and nephews, nieces and nephews. It's like whatever I can pass off to them that I know, I might not, hopefully it stays with them and they able to use it. But like I was saying, let's continue on the political side. Like I say, this money and these tax cuts and all that stuff affects people who are less fortunate. So my biggest thing is, and I learned some of this stuff that I'm gonna say via a history book. Like, I have an issue. Okay, when I was reading the history, whatever history or whatever book I was reading in high school, when it was talking about governments giving $250,000 to some of these countries, like people coming from different countries, they get $250,000, and these people basically are coming from countries that are would deem these people color their skin white. Now, I'm not saying that they look at themselves as white. They might be coming from tough shit or some kind of enslavement, or they do a lot of sex trafficking in these different countries, and all it ain't the same issue in America that it is in these other European or countries. It's not perfect, but you got to realize it's issues over here that need to be taken care of. It's like, if you take care of us, we wouldn't mind the certain things, but don't overlook the people that's been here for years and y'all stealing identities at the highest level and selling us to other countries. Like, it's getting more and more daily by daily. It's getting more and more like disrespectful in that manner. And like people like me, like what kind of, like, it's like, what it happened on me for both sides, from my grandparents and my great aunts and all this. Like, stop trying to be something you're not. If you be who you supposed to be, like, y'all supposed to actually be the ones helping a little bit more. And don't go give somebody our funding, who lack intelligence, who lack empathy, who lack the girth to actually put it on their back and do something great with it. Don't go out here just doing it. I don't care about, it's like I look at it like this. I look at it like, when I was in school, my younger years, it's like people gravitated towards me. It didn't matter what I was doing. So it's like, so many people like me get overlooked and disrespected. It's like, we have to change that completely. So that's all I want to say. I won't sound like a complainer. I won't sound like I'm being so trying to start something. So I don't want to. Let me see. I played you the two clips. Hopefully you got something from it. Hopefully you understood my opinion on it. I don't want to get like this. I spoke on the me being able to speak with, I spoke on those things. So we're gonna move on from politics today. I don't want to overdo it. It's more to come. Like I said, I got stuff going. I got stuff brewing for it. Get this stuff situated with the basketball coming up. Football season is right around the corner. We're gonna start off season training. All that stuff, good stuff coming in. School's gonna be out. Summer's gonna be out. I gotta be a lot active in the community. I can't. The last I would say since COVID, it's been very hectic for just watching how the children just, some people put their kids in summer camp, but it's so expensive. I remember, I always tell the story. I probably told it more than one time on in a in a realm of this, me talking in public, which is video and YouTube or whatever it may be, Spotify, whatever YouTube podcast I was speaking. But like, I remember going to summer camp, and my mom was a single parent. My mom and dad wasn't living together enough, but he was alive still. I got to go every weekend, whenever, whatever I needed to, I could go to my dad's house. It wasn't a problem or issue. But I was staying with my mom in my community. So the summer, my first summer camp, like as a teen, a preteen, for all my field trips, I went to Orlando about 4 or 5 times. We went to laser tag, we went horseback riding, we went to all kind of like, we went to different YMCA camps that competed, and we had to catch a bus, and but everything costed that summer. I will never forget this. And I'm just being nice. We probably went to, we went swimming every day. That was $2 for somebody without a membership. So we spent like it was spending. We were spending for real. So they looked out completely for the children in that camp, and we ended up spending less than we spent. I want to say it was in the range from $60 to $65. We didn't spend a lot of money at all. And I'm talking about we was going everywhere. And I just remember these types of things. Now I go look up, it's count $150 per week, $750 for a whole summer. What is that? We live in what kind of community is this? Who y'all think sponsoring these kids? Like, even if they got two parents in the house, which a lot of the community that it is not like that. So $750 is a lot. And they like, what do you want these people to do to get to pay for these things? So, I'm trying to figure out now. My child, she need to be in dance this summer. She's going to middle school. She's going to be in some kind of magnet or program that she, does at school, whatever she picked. So she got to be in shape, on point. Same with my nephew. He's going to 4th grade. He need to be in shape, on point. Basketball, football. He's starting to elevate. He's getting taller by the day. All this stuff going on. Same with my niece. She's in the middle of it, so she need to sharpen what she want to sharpen. And all my nieces and nephews out there. So I'm giving you this message. If you get it, it's time to, put it in gear. Like, y'all all over about 10 years old. Most of y'all finna hit that 10-year-old mark. Some of y'all still, young, but you know how it's gonna go. We still advanced, so everybody be on point with what's going on. Let's lock in, and that's for sure. You know how it goes. The younger it is, the better it used to be. So I ain't never dissing nobody in my family that's the youngest. So we gotta go in, we gotta get this work done, we gotta put in this work. That's the message I'm giving y'all. Hopefully y'all mom and dad, I love y'all to death. So I love y'all for sure. I won't say that the D word, but I love it, care a lot. I want everybody to be strong and successful. I put that message out there all the time for my family. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. We're gonna have to get focused and we have to get right. Now let's see. We talked about sports, and that's it. Hopefully summer's coming. It's coming. Sports now. NBA Western Conference Final starts Tuesday. We got the OKC versus T-Wolves. I predicted the series. What I think it's a pretty evenly matched series. If I had to lean towards, when it comes to depth, when it comes to experience, it's still like up in the air. So I expect this series to go 6 to 7 games. If I had to pick, I'm a big Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's fan. I like the way his plight has happened of him putting years and years and years and repertoire and putting it, like, all his game is emulated a lot off of this how Kobe played in his later years. He still got the athletic ability to, with the best, but the way he could find any spot on the court, the way his core strength of him getting in post position and positioning himself to score is very high level. It's probably, like I said, you watch some of the film, it's basically bar for bar, hand in hand how Kobe played in his later in his career, and he still got a lot of athleticism. A lot of these players got intelligent enough to work on the game that Kobe worked on in his later careers, when his athletic ability, didn't really diminish, but he just got older for being in the league so long. Like, LeBron's still going retard with the athleticism and ability. So, that's like one in the whatever it is, and he still break down a lot. He fights through it, but just comparing like Tracy McGrady, one of these guys that was savants as athletes, and being able to put the ball in the hole, Vince Carter, all these guys. Vince Carter played for a long time like LeBron as well. So, we just, it's different. So, I'm glad he put that together. Then you got the young guy, Anthony Edwards, him and McDaniels. I love that combination. The only thing I could say, what I could see, the Williams, I can't remember his first name, Williams. It's two of them. So, the one that starts, he's pretty nice. He give me the what McDaniels is for Anthony Edwards, and he giving that vibe of what he Shea Alexander is for him. Like, they've got that 2-man going. Whoever could come up with the best, game plan to really go out there and dominate both ends, I think that's who's gonna probably win out of that battle. It's very evenly matched, very similar games for, like that's that 1-2, and then we got the big man, the benches, like it's just all who comes with them to play. You got your what's his name? I can't remember his. I don't really want to butcher nobody's name. We just go out to see. I want to see that 2-man matchup. Whoever wins that battle right there, probably be in a position to lead their teams. Whoever come up with a better leadership, and those tough times where they go on runs and you got to respond. That's what I want to see. So I got to see a game or two for me to even give you a prediction. I think it's, like I said, it looked like a 7-game series. It should go at least 6. So it's going to be very entertaining. Now the Eastern Conference, you got the Knicks versus the Pacers. The Knicks are very hot. The Pacers actually beat the number 1 team in the East already, so it's like, but the Pacers, the way the Knicks have played and knocking off the defending champs, it's like it's the same. These are the two best. These are the 2 hottest teams in the East, and those are the 2 hottest teams in the West. And you just gotta wait to see. Both of these series should at least go 6 games. I don't see neither team getting beat in 5 or 6 games. I mean, five games are swept. It all comes down to those. I think the more talented team, like overall, is still the Knicks in the Eastern Conference. So I think they got the edge, and they fan base, but Indiana fan base is about the same. So it's like I don't see it going past. Like Indiana beat the number 1 team. So I'm not dissing them, but I actually like the Halliburton. I think that's how you say it. I don't want to say it. Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton. I like that matchup over Jalen Brunson, just his length, his ability to see the whole court. He just has to be in that point guard mode from game 1 to game 7, like whatever you need to do to win, whether it's scoring or passing, whether it's getting everybody organized on defense and being that, stopping that ball, not allowing transition, easy buckets, and just being locked in completely, because like he got a little lax against a very young and inconsistent team in Cleveland, and they didn't have a good game plan against y'all. Y'all was down 20 points the first 2 games when they was in their home court in the first 2 games. So that kind of when y'all was, like I said, y'all coach is one of the best coaches in the whole entire that's left in the whole entire whatever, 4 out of the 14, you probably got the best coach in Indiana. That's what I'm looking at, and I always give him his props. So we're gonna have to see, man. It's all about who comes out and executes. Just come out with that mindset to get feed your big man, make sure he's present as felt offensively and defensively in Turner. Him being an anchor, him being a veteran, he gotta come up. He gotta put it. He gotta, these guys all were picked in the high, very high. Turner and Carlton Towns were picked a little bit higher because of his offensive ability. He's now shooting threes. He's but the way he finesse and the way he's not as aggressive as these old school big men, I think Turner's more the old school type of big man. He got to be physical with him. He got to make him, even if you got to give him hard fouls, so he respect that he got to come play inside and not be out there playing around thinking you got to make him earn it. So that's pretty much what I got to say for you know, basically that series. It's all about, we got to wait and see. I want to see the first games for both. One start Tuesday, the other one's Wednesday, and they both start by 8:30, both of them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got to watch the WNBA game. The only game I got to really check out was the Sky versus the Fever Saturday. I missed the Vegas game. You know, I spoke on that Friday. I didn't get, I was Saturday, actually, correction. Saturday. I spoke on the Saturday. I was doing my show while the game was going on. So I only caught the Sky versus the Fever game. I was a little disappointed at how Fever played. You know, I feel like it was some better players available. I didn't like the guard play. I still feel like they're trying to go, they selling it. I like the way Angel Reese and Cardozo play. I do like that. I see a lot of potential in that. Cardozo played very well to me. She moving very well. She stayed on the court a lot. Last year she picked up a lot of fouls because she was not in the best of shape. Not that she's not talented. She just was, they'll get her on the hip, the body fouls and stuff like that. Just her being big, a real big in the women's game, But I'm big fans of them. I'm not down on them, but I'm down on their guard play. I'm down on their wing play. And I think they had Angel Reese playing too much point forward. She didn't need to bring the ball up. She does a lot off the court for that whole organization. So, her as a young player, I want her to actually, she still has 17 rebounds, but she missed like 4 shots just because she's doing too much. And her playing off, I think get her getting playing off the post. There was one play where they did it perfectly. Like it ain't gonna work out that perfect every time where they were sharing the ball. It was twice that it happened. They just passed the ball from the post to each other, and it's a mismatch. Now, what I think Cardozo need to really get better at is finishing. And same with Angel Reese, they're finishing. I think Angel Reese do a good job, but her underhand layup is still lax, and she still do the overhand layup. She talked about it already. That's what she used to, but she got blocked one time. She missed 2 or 3 shots that were wild. And when you have that over energy and the control is just put it in the hoop, put it off the side of the rim. It's the shortest way to the rim. So it's just like that's that base. I know coaches done told her this, but she's very talented, and she's still, when you're a superstar, you still have your way of thinking and the way that worked for you, which is not a bad thing. You're still going to be one of the top players in the league, but it comes with a time where, sometimes just work on these stuff off season. You miss 4 shots that I seen was very easy, and it was a blowout still. But it's people. The guard play was the worst. The guard play was not good at all for Chicago Sky. So that need to get situated. The 3-point shooting, y'all shooting for Steph range and missing every shot. We don't need that. See that no more. I don't want to see that no more because you're putting more pressure on your power forward, your center, which you literally have 2 of the best for just off their way they play defense and their energy to bring. They have the talent to be high level WNBA players. And Angel Reese's offensive game is pretty solid. Her 3, I think she hit a 3 last game. So that's the game I got to watch. So I'm breaking it down more. For the Fever, they a problem. I love what I saw. Like I said, Aaliyah Boston is somebody that I'm a big fan of. Her offensive game is it's like I can't. Okay, well, if I had to compare it to like Chris Webber, is like the way she plays, like very her own pace. Jermaine O'Neal, like she got her own pace. Her mid range is nice. Like Tim Duncan, like these guys, high percentage, don't miss a lot of shots, don't play bad at all, technically sound, very very great on defense. So they all in the same like age range, and like her talent is she polished her game. You could tell she polished her game this offseason, and I'm happy I seen what I saw. I think I can't the Liberty still look like they the champ. So I can't pass it to Fever, but Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark. Yeah, I said it right. Caitlin Clark. Um, she had a triple double. So that 1-2 punch right there is already developed. Seems like she did a lot of To me, I think they did a good job last year getting her, just putting pressure on her on the wing. I think she got stronger in her core, and it helped with her being able to finish, her able to see in the whole court, her able to handle like double teams, coming off the pick and roll and all that. She did a great job that game. She proved it. Like I said, the way the guards played, which is her and her running mate, whoever, they did a great job. Everybody chipped in. I think it was like closer to like 4 people in 20-point range. So they had a great, they got a great team over there in Indiana Fever. They got great leadership. So, they look like they're going to be special. So we're going to wait to see how that goes. I'm mad I didn't get to see the Sparks play. They lost one last night, but they won their first game. Same with the Storm out that Saturday. It was Saturday. Saturday I was supposed to go back and watch the evening game. I was asleep. I didn't get to watch it. I think they lost, and they play tonight though. So they play the Dallas Wings, which is a good matchup for. I'm gonna try my best to start at 8:00 Eastern, and I'm gonna try my best to get to go watch that game. So that's it for basketball, NBA, WNBA. Shout out to those girls I did not mention. I'm still gonna check you out. I don't like to mess up names. I don't like to, like, if I didn't watch and talk, kind of at least check your highlights of the game and try to inform and tell people about y'all. But I'm definitely for the women's game. My little sister, she played basketball ever since she was little, so I try to put that. I'm big on women's sports and stuff like that. So shout out to them. I did get to go, like I told y'all, Friday. I watched the was it Friday? Yeah, Friday I went to see the Rays and the Marlins game, and I watched the game on TV Saturday. So unfortunately the Rays lost 4-9, and then they did. The pitching was way better. My problem with this, and I'm confused. The Rays pitcher was going into, I want to say he pitched, was it 5 innings? I think he pitched 5 innings. He had 81 pitches. What's up with everybody? Like, is it just me or is it the Rays? It might be the Rays. I've been only checking out home team, so my hometown team. I won't say home team because the Tampa Bay area is St. Petersburg, Largo, St. Pete, Clearwater. Then it's Tampa. Then it's you move to Pasco and still Tampa Bay area. I got family all throughout, and Orlando is an hour away from Tampa, so all that stuff is central and north and very connected to everybody know everybody. So that area is where I was born, and I've been in South Florida for a little minute, and I go visit home all the time. So like I tell you, like I'm not against the Marlins or any sports teams in Florida, but it's a soft spot when I talk about the Rays because that's where I was born at, St. Pete, and they moved it. They have to play in Temple this year because during the hurricane season, the stadium got messed up. But it is what it is. They won. I don't like the way that these pitchers are not able to finish games. He was at 81 pitches. Minimum, if you in a shutout, you get a chance to finish with it, like at least go to 8 to 7 innings. Like, I didn't understand. He had a couple Marlins Park is a pitcher's park. So, they could get, it's very tough. It's like when you get hot and you figure out where the holes is, you gotta kind of be there to, so the Marlins probably used to it more than the Rays. So that first game they did have an advantage, and they always got great pitching, and you know how that goes. So I just have an issue with them finishing that game. He was at 81 pitches. He should have been able to at least pitch through 7-8 innings. And just like the entertainment part, like you took him out the beginning of it before you even get, and it was the bottom of the order. So it's like he could at least pitch 6-7 innings. I'm like, why? Like, it's like you're taking out the excitement of building rapport with it's like back in the day, you had to build your confidence to become a ace, become a number one, number two pitcher in the lineup. So when you don't get that confidence boost of your coach trusting you to go 110 pitches now, I'm like, he could have pitched two more innings, giving up a run or two. Maybe we ain't jinxing it like that, but it's like he was already on the shutout. He picking me out. I'm on the shutout. I'm hot as a pitcher. I'm hot. I'm trying to see what what's got going on. This is personal. So unless he had an injury or something, I ain't mad. Coach probably got him on a pitch count or something. I had to think about that just now. But still, like, damn, how you gonna get strong? They be warming up. It's 20 pitches. They throw it before the game. It's almost 50 to 100. So I'm like, damn, y'all threw that many times. Let the man get his game in. Like, make him miss some pitching warm up days or something tomorrow. Damn, dang. So it's all about that. I was just mad about that because I was at the game. I mean, I was watching though. I was watching from home. Good. If I was at home and they took it, I would have been mad. So just be mindful that it's real true fans that actually understand these things. Back in the day, they pitched 150 pitches and it wasn't no problem. But that's where it comes in with these people doing all the genetically modifying, all this HGH, switching, all this control your athletes and civilian athletic soldiers and professional sports, all this crazy mayhem going on in America. That go on sports because we still got the Olympics, and you know how that goes. You know how that went with the testing and the doping agencies and all that craziness. And they just got more advanced with what they doing. You know, he'll get it. I don't feel like going into that. I could go sports and roar and all that go hand in hand. I already know these things. That's why I try to stay in my lane and coach and do my thing and teach the proper way and the proper techniques. But yeah, that's it for WNBA basketball. I think we pretty much got anything. Okay. And last but not least, the two movies I recently watched. I like to do these because I forgot to talk about them. Now, we're going to talk about the Thunderbolts, the New Avengers. I watched that about, I'll say like, 2 weeks ago? Okay, I liked it. I do not like the way that Marvel's trying to make things that are not that funny because, like, a lot of this has to do with what I was just talking about, how they modifying people and, especially soldiers and it's like, it's getting a little too. It is what it is. Like they making it a joke, but they basically are kind of like the fact that they took away the draft and people are less and less people are actually willing to go to war and they're being smart about the war that they're actually trying to fight, not just signing up for any crash out war. And that's on all turfs, all continents, and all different countries. And if all this world leader and the UN talk and there's so much corruption over time that people lack trust. And if people actually sit back and put people who have honesty as their number one thing or trust and building, they might get somewhere, but they still got that bonehead, musclehead. I want to be, or somebody that's in position that never was an athlete or never was on the field or any kind of capacity and control. And they out here like, oh, I have the most money. Oh, here's $100 billion to go out there and shoot everything up. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know what it's about. It's not even about that. It's like, are you protecting something? Or, or you just want to see something cool? You know what I'm saying? You want to see us be tough. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I could say so much more, but like I said, people do a lot of stuff that's very foul, as you can see, as you know. And I'm gonna speak on it. I have nothing to not speak on when it comes to these things. I'm not. It's funny that they got mad. They didn't want me to be a super athlete, or I'm saying this in hindsight, not when I was actually playing. They didn't want me to be a super athlete or to be famous or anything like that. But they actually still can't take the fact that I am a high-powered being. You know what I'm saying? So me being able to speak, me being able to teach is still high level. So that's how I look at stuff. Now, when it comes to the movie was very good. I would suggest if I had to rate it, it would be like a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good. It could have been a little bit better. A lot of that's theatrical laughing, he and it ain't called for when you bring in like the new and the way the coolest part was actually the guy that was like looked aside as the basically the ultimate reject, and he had got the abilities of he had ability. Say it like this: he basically took somebody's ability. That's what made him who he is, and he couldn't control it. So whoever he took the ability from, the whole new Avengers and Thunderbolts had to figure out a way how to control it and to get him back to reality of, you can't just destroy people, and all that's you're gonna end up destroying the whole world. So that was basically the movie and the introduction of them coming together, and the people that was in charge still got away, because they pulled back the curtains and boom, the new Avengers. The lady, she's like playing both sides. She's in the arms deals, and she's been in the Avengers series the whole time. And all this crazy mayhem going on, and it's just like it's just a part 2 coming on and more detail. So that's all. Now that's with the Thunderbolts, the new Avengers. Now the best one, I watched last week, Shadow Force, starring Kerry Washington and Omar Sy, and they did a great job. It was a lot of emotion. The communication in that movie was very high level. It was not halfway dead when it came to like speaking on every part and detail of, it was a little theatrical, but that's movies. But it wasn't. It still could basically how Kerry Washington has perfected how to be theatrical and be like this could go to this level is like perfect. So she's like on her game. She's like fighting, like she's like combat, like training. I don't know what she did to gear up for that movie, but it was very, very great and entertaining, and I appreciate it. And she only getting better. Like I don't know who competing with her, but she's like I'm on everybody. Like I'm on everybody neck. She going in, so I appreciate. Like I'm not a super fan of hers, but I'm actually a fan of hers. Like I actually appreciate the work she's done. So, I'm like, I'm in my 30s. I'm looking at it like, hey, I'm still a movie buff, so I'm like, hopefully she could produce some good movies and continue to do what she been doing. And yeah, so I give y'all some entertainment today. I rated that movie a solid 8.5, 9. I was really entertained by the combat, the actual action of it. It was a full, I could tell you what is it. It really is like, but basically you have to be at the highest level of when you obtain a lot, when it comes with money, or when it comes with territory, when it comes to just being a civilian soldier. Like that's basically what high level civilian soldier is. Like, people sign up to work for these people and these corporations, and they look at the boss as like, oh, he's just some skinny old dude in a suit. But all these people that he's working for, which is basically what you're gonna see in the movie. And even then, the person in the suit's probably over here doing yoga and stretching and core work and stretching and working. That's basically what the movie show in the movie. Like everybody was ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was with it. So it's like it was good. It's good. It was very entertaining. So yeah, just check those 2 movies out. And that's pretty much it. So thank y'all for listening. That's it for today. Remember, this is Dynasty the Show podcast show. I'm your host, Ira Bush. Thank you for listening. And I did not get to go see no of the high school games. I got a little lazy about it, but it is what it is. Shout out to those young men. I'm gonna check y'all out. Hopefully I get on the field full time and we're gonna see what goes. Thank y'all for listening. Appreciate you.